What's going on, guys? So I've had some people in the past asking me how the Raptor does hauling my boat. Now keep in mind, I just have a bass boat. It's probably in like the 2,500 pound range, so it's nothing crazy. I think the Raptor does phenomenal just on the stock suspension. The only thing that I have done to it is the Eibach leveling springs, which just basically kind of brings the front end up some. I still think my rear end might set a little higher than the front, but I think for the most part I'm pretty happy with the way it sets. But in today's video, we're going to show you how the truck sets on pretty much level ground and then what it sets like with the boat attached. We're also going to see what we do for miles per gallon. I'm not really sure. I want to say I'm averaging 15 just regularly, and I'm probably rounding up because my foot is always in the throttle most of the time, so I'm probably more like 13 in the 14. One day I'm going to drive a full tank of gas, not in sport mode, and I'm not going to romp on it. We're going to try to stay above 16 miles per gallon, but every time I fill up, it never fails and I romp on it somewhere and I have to start over from scratch. Here's just a little side view of how the truck currently sets. I would say right now with the Eibach leveling springs in the front, it's pretty good, but I still think my rear end might stick up just a little bit more than I would like to, but I never really cared because I'm always hauling my boat. So to me, just having the rear end up a little higher than the front still was kind of good, especially that way, you know, when the boat is attached, it sags some and it doesn't make it sag too much. Even if the front end was up a little more, I still would be perfectly fine running just a full stock suspension. Now that we've got the Nitro bass boat hooked up, it is a 19-foot fiberglass boat, probably weighs a little over 2,000 pounds, probably in the 2,500 pound range. My truck's not even squatting that bad with it for being just a leveled truck. And I've even heard people talk about how they had the 17 and 18. When they went to the 19, the live valve shocks just seemed to handle hauling a load a lot better. From my experience though, this truck has hauled the boat perfectly fine. The EcoBoost motor rips with it. I love driving the boat with this truck. I just have the standard hitch receiver in there. I don't have anything special, nothing like that. That's a little before and after of what the Raptor kind of looks like with the boat attached. I gotta get moving. We're gonna head up to the lake and try to catch a few largemouth bass. I'm running so behind the 8-ball that I should have been gone in the morning, and it's after lunch, so we really got to get booking because we have about an hour drive ahead of us. Okay, we finally made it. We're finally gonna get the boat on the water, but before we get started, I just want to talk to you guys about today's sponsor of the video, and that is Bolt Lock. The reason I partnered with Bolt Lock is I like quality and I like minimalism designs, and this meets both criterias. The unique thing with Bolt is it doesn't come with the key. That's because you're gonna use your own key. So you're gonna take the key to your vehicle. So I'm gonna take the key from my Raptor and we're gonna undo it. This is a side cut key, so these locks do work with just your regular average old school key or the new side lock. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna remove this blue little sticker, and there's a little plastic cover under here. Just rip that off, and now stick your key in, turn it clockwise, and it's gonna go an extra further turn your first initial time. Now it's set, it's locked. Put your key back in, just like that. These are just gonna be your average everyday padlock, which you can use these for just about anything. And they have a wide range of products available. Right now, I'm using the 5/8 receiver hitch pin lock. I'm using the coupler pin lock. And then I also have the cable lock system, which is for my spare tire on the trailer as well. Other items for GMC vehicles, for Jeeps. I'm really ecstatic with this product line and the minimalism. The fact that I get to continue on now with being just my Raptor key, as I hate having multiple keys, and I never have to think about where the key is to all of my boat locking system. I'll drop a link for you guys. This is definitely my favorite locking system that I've used yet. On that note, let's get the boat in the water. I have not fished for like 6 months. I'm ready to set hook on a fat largemouth, and I know a couple spots here. I'll show you what we're actually fishing, and let's see if we can pull a 5-pounder out today. Okay, so the big camera died, and the other 2 batteries that I have with me that I thought were charged are not charged. We're just using a little side imaging. So basically this is where I'm at. I'm looking 95 foot to the right, 95 foot to the left. We're probably passing a pallet, and there are some fish around it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark it. And then we'll come back to that later. I don't wanna fish that right now. We're out here in 15 foot. I usually try to graph around 3 to 4 miles per hour. 4 is usually about the best sweet spot. Right now, there's basically nothing. It's just the hard bottom. There's no really structure. There's no rocks. Like there's some sort of bait right there. And for the most part, I'm just on side imaging most of the time. I can switch over to where I have it set up as a 3, but I don't generally do that. But now we're getting into rockland. So that jetty was over here. Now these are some of these offshore rocks. And you can see these are just like, these are individual boulders. So those are just big rocks just kind of scattered all over. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing is, see like right here, those are probably fish. That's probably a group. The way they're spread out, those are probably largemouth bass. And if they are, we're in for a really good day, because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's at least 10. So here's what I'm gonna do on this. I'm going to, where I see the fish, I'm just gonna mark all of these fish. They might not be bass, but I guess they're bass. So I've now marked all of these. I'm not gonna mark the rock because there's just so much rock. So we'll come back to my chart, and you can see there's where I'd mark those fish, and they're in the probably 10 foot range. I mean, we're in 9 foot here, but the chart's not set correctly. So, and then what I do is I take a screenshot, click and hold mark, because we want to save that. So now the next step, you've marked your waypoint. Now you got to set up on it. So what I'm going to do is go to my chart. I'm going to get on one of the waypoints, hit my menu button, click over, target. So now we are 50, 100, 150 foot. Then if you zoom in, it'll change it. So right now I'm 60 foot from it, and that is exactly where I like to be, 60 foot at minimum. There's one right there. Good one. I want my net. There's a good one. There's a good one. There's a good one. Put this lunchbox there. Cool. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That one's a good 3. It's probably not 4, but that's a good 3.5 or so. Little chunky guy. Let's get back in there. That's enough of the fishing excursion. So that was not good, but I only fished for almost like 2 hours. I don't really fish that lake that often. I just knew a spot that had been producing here recently, so I just figured I'd go and try that. So let's get back to the main important thing that we're here to talk about, and that is actually towing something with your Raptor. like I already discussed, 2,000 to 3,000 pound, you know, you could probably even push the limit on that. But once you get up into the 5,000 range, that's when you should really start thinking about two things. You need to think about adding leaf springs to your truck or airbags or both. The only reason that I've really read to go both is when you're doing like 8,000 pounds. The Raptor is rated at like 8,000. Just keep that in mind. If you got a boat that's in the 5,000 to 6,000 range, I would probably just throw on some leaf springs. Like if you go with Icons or Devers, those are the two main popular ones. Like say you do Devers, most people are running like a +2 setting on the Dever for 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. Now say you're not going to run airbags, whatever, you're just going to want to go up to a +3 on your Dever, but when you do that, the rear end of your truck's going to set higher. So to offset that, you could throw on like some drop shackles, probably like 1.5 inch drop shackles, just to kind of offset it. From the research I've done, pretty much it just sounds like you just need to go Devers or airbags. Problem with airbags, it sounds like they end up always just giving out, blowing up. Devers definitely the most popular one, and just go to the +2 setting, and I think you'll be set. Seems like most of the time if I'm hauling something, especially like my boat, I'm always like an hour away at minimum. Maybe you're towing something like once in the lifetime of having the truck. Maybe I could understand that. For the most part, make sure it is roadworthy. If there's something else that you guys have been running, for sure drop it down in the comments. In closing, just so you guys can see what we did average hauling my boat, I still have 24 minutes left until I'm home. I've been out and about all day long and I'm ready to chill. Right now we are just at 10 miles to the gallon, and we have done, and that's after 148 miles. So I almost wonder if I went a little further yet, if I could get her up to the 10.5, maybe even 11, depending on the drive, depending on the wind, and depending on, you know, the hills and whatnot. I'm pretty pumped because I think my F-150 before with the 5-liter V8 used to get probably 8.5 to maybe 9 tops hauling my boat. So the fact that I'm in the 10, and I've been averaging pretty much about 70 mile an hour the whole way. Anyways, guys, I hope this helped you out. Like I said, drop some comments on some setups that you guys run hauling a trailer, and what kind of gas mileage you guys be getting hauling your trailers. Because there's people that comment and they're like, I'm be getting 17 miles to the gallon just normal driving, and I don't think I could ever hit that in this. Maybe I'm going to try. I'm going to try to hit 17. Anyways, yeah, that's all we got. Peace.